Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Tuesday, November 8th, 2022 meeting to order at 9 a.m. Melissa, you please roll call the directors.
Okay, Director Balin.
Here.
Director Boatwright.
Here.
Director Kearns.
Here.
Director Murphy.
Here.
Director Regan.
Here.
Okay, all five present.
Okay, great. Well, good morning, everyone, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So at this time, we'll have the public forum, and we would like to welcome the members of the public who have taken the time to attend this meeting and provide comments on matters related to district business. Any member of the public may address the board relating to any matter within the board's jurisdiction. This need not be related to any item on the agenda. However, the board cannot act on an item unless it is noticed on the agenda. Persons speaking during the public comment will be limited to 5 minutes, or depending on the number of persons wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all members of the public the opportunity to address the board. So is there anyone in the public audience that would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none. Corey, is there anyone in the virtual audience?
Not at the moment.
Okay, thank you. Then that will conclude public forum, and we'll move to the consent calendar. And Melissa, will you kindly read those items?
Okay, item number 1, minutes of the regular board meeting of October 25th, 2022. Item number 2, approval of reimbursement claims for directors' lieutenant meetings attended and/or travel expenses and claim summary for October 2022. Item number 3, consider adopting a subsequent resolution making findings in support of allowing remote meetings pursuant to AB 361. Item number 4, reject claim for damages, claim number 2214, Diane Nepper claim.
Okay, is there any director that would like to pull one of these items before I ask? Okay, Director Ringen, and which item is that?
Claim summary.
Claim summary, all right. I'm looking for hands from the Zoom screen. Is there any hands?
Not at the moment.
Seeing none?
No.
Okay, is there a motion to approve 1, 3, and 4?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Jeff. So Jeff's our second. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none. Melissa, will you please call for the vote?
Okay, Director Balin.
Aye.
Director Boatwright.
Aye.
Director Kearns.
Aye.
Director Murphy.
Nodding yes.
1 second. Oh, I'm not on mute. Great. Yes, aye.
Director Regan.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so go ahead, Ron.
On page 3, wondering if these were mistakes, multiple entries, or what? But I see 3 Dynamo label writers, 550. There's 3 of them.
Yeah, there are no mistakes on here that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Those 3 are 3 brand new computers, and the new Windows operating system does not recognize the older label makers that we had. So we had to get 3. Corey has a rotation program as far as when we replace computers when they reach a certain age and such. So these were 3 separate entities.
Okay, great. And then on that same page is kind of a, probably exactly the same type thing, but kind of a different sort of combination. There's 2 entries for waterproof winter jackets and pocket tape measure.
10?
Could be the temps, it could be just for the stock in the warehouse.
So it just happened that
It's-
the
yeah.
jackets and then tape
Yeah.
measures in, okay. I just kind of got a chuckle out of that one, you know. Page 6, this one I really would like to know about this. There's 2 entries for Castle Tire Disposal LLC. And then it says SRWWTF. And one of the amounts is almost $8,500, and the other one is almost $9,500. What are we having so many tires down at the regional wastewater plant?
Yeah, those tires weren't unearthed by Kiewit's initial earthwork operations. They were stockpiled on city property with city permission while we figured out where we could find a home for them. And Jennifer did quite a bit of work and settled on Castle. It does seem like a lot of money. It was significantly less than we actually thought it would be, but they've had to make 3 trips, I believe, hauling tires off.
Hundreds.
Where did they come from?
Between the city and the county and maybe TD later, they just, if they had a bad tire, they just threw it in a pile, covered it up with dirt, and made a berm out of it later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, page 18, standard insurance, STD, LTD. I thought we got all our insurance through,
I'll answer that. That's for short and long-term disability, and we actually do get our group insurance through Aqua JPIA, but the third party is called the standard for that type of insurance.
okay.
And that's a monthly invoice for us.
Okay, thank you for that. And then on that same page, the Papes Group Incorporated, 2 25 portable diesel generator rentals. I thought we'd gotten all the generators that we needed, or were these smaller ones for projects?
Not yet, and then we've had those on rent all summer for possible PSPS.
Okay.
events. Yeah.
Okay. All right, thanks for that. And then I noticed 3 entries in different areas. And I just want to say that this really makes me proud of our employees. There's 3 individuals that upgraded their certifications. And one was Jeff Allen. He took the D1 test, distribution test, D1. Michelle Perkins, she took the wastewater grade 4 exam. And Robbie Byers took the D4. I think that really shows dedication to their job and trying to just better themselves and better TUD. So anyway, that's it for me.
Is that it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there any director that has questions on the claim summary or comments? Okay, I'm not seeing any public comment.
At the moment.
Okay, well, if there's no further discussion, I'd like a motion to approve this item.
I'll make that motion to approve the claim summary.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, Director Murphy seconds it. Thank you. And without further discussion, Melissa, will you please call for the vote?
Okay, Director Ringen,
Yes.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Kearns,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Director Balin.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. So that takes care of the consent calendar. We'll move to regular business. And Melissa, will you please read the first item? And I believe Director Kearns will be recusing himself on this item.
That's correct. Yeah, before you read it, I'll go ahead and sign off. And I guess, Corey, you'll text me as usual, correct?
Yes. One of us will.
Okay, I'll see you in a bit.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, go ahead, Melissa, sorry.
Item number 5, consider approval of agreement regarding water and sewer main extensions and sewer service to a non-adjacent parcel in the city of Sonora. Schroeder and Kalinda.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. I'm Antonio Ramirez, Engineering Department Customer Service. The item I have before you is a developer agreement to transfer for construction and transfer of a public water and sewer main to serve a development in the city of Sonora. The developers are Stephen Schroeder and Ellen Kalenda. They're looking to develop a 4.9 acre piece of land into 4 parcels and a remainder in the city of Sonora. Eric has, if we go back a couple, the property in question is it's near the lower I call the southerly intersection of Shaw's Flat and Saratoga Roads, which is near Sonora High School, just north of it. And this land's been vacant for a very long time. And Mr. Schroeder recently purchased it with the idea of doing this project. Our water, we can go to the next slide, Eric. I think, or did you already hit that one?
The one you want?
That's fine, we can leave it there. So again, we're in the city of Sonora. In order to serve development, they need to extend public water and sewer mains to the project. You'll see the remainder parcel that's probably going to come up. You're probably wondering why there's a remainder. So the remainder parcels are kind of unique. If there's sort of a subdivision map act trick where it allows you to create 5 parcels without an actual subdivision. So it makes things a lot easier for the developer in terms of CEQA and that sort of thing. So that's why you see that remainder. Going back to the mains, in order to serve the project, they want to extend a public water main approximately 311 feet from the Saratoga Road right away into the property. There'll be a hydrant at the end. And then they'll extend the sewer main from Saratoga Road about 377 feet. It'll require a new manhole at the connection and then a couple more manholes at the angle points, which is typical for our engineering standards. The remainder parcel, you'll notice we're asking for a variance in this case in order to serve that parcel. If I remember right, that line that you see there, that alignment is roughly about 425 feet. I kind of discussed with the property owner and with Eric, and we just thought it might be better that just be a private line, and we didn't see any reason for it to be a public line in terms of there's no future development for it. So it just seemed like it would be just another 425 feet of maintenance that we didn't need. Eric was agreeable to that being a private line. So if in approving the developer agreement, and in this agenda item, you would be approving a variance for a private sewer line to the remainder parcel. I'm trying to think what else I need. The developer agreement has all your standard language for construction and transfer of the mains, that they would use a properly licensed contractor, that they would be properly insured, that the water and sewer mains would be constructed under district inspection, and that upon completion, they would be transferred to the district for ownership and operation. There are special provisions in the agreement, the typical ones that you see regarding capacity fees and engineering and inspection deposit. All of our time for plan review and inspection will be charged time material, and the developer will pay for that out of that deposit. There's also one last special provision regarding the remainder parcel being served by a private sewer line. I think that's about it, unless did I miss something?
Great.
Be happy to take some questions.
Thank you. All right. Are there any questions from directors? Yes, Director Raymond.
So, Antonio, I read through this entire agenda item, and I was unclear as to, is the developer going to be the one that is responsible for putting all the plumbing in the ground?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're not, even though they're out on Saratoga Road, that doesn't have anything to do with TUD until they turn it over to us.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was wondering how that was going to work, because normally it's us that puts the pipe in the streets and right-of-ways and things like that.
Yeah, most of the time, if you see a project extending public water sewer mains and standard here, usually it's the developer that is paying for it. There's a couple situations where there might be a cost share, or something similar that might occur where there's mutual benefit, but for the most part, the developer is paying for the infrastructure to get extended to their project, and that they would hire the contractor. And our role is just to make sure that as it gets connected, it's done so in a way that we like and that works for us.
Great, thank you.
Director Boatright.
Yeah. And then Director Murphy, then Director Bowen.
Oh, sorry, Director Murphy.
Thanks. Two questions, just to follow up one on that I didn't realize I had. It looks like that is, when you look at Saratoga Road, it looks like that will cause road disturbance. The contractor takes care of that piece as well.
Yes, they will have an encroachment permit. Usually the encroachment permit addresses traffic control. The inspector is going to review that encroachment permit and just work and make sure that the contractor has an appropriate traffic control plan in place.
But they deal with the re-asphalting and any of that stuff road repair that needs to be done?
Correct.
Okay. And then my original question was, I know that this is how it often works, is that the developer creates these extensions to the development that they want, and then it gets turned over to TUD for maintenance. Why, what benefit is that to TUD?
Well,
adding more line to maintenance instead of just leaving it with private ownership of the developer.
The alternative would be what Eric calls the spaghetti lines all over the city or county, right? And I can tell you from working with customer service frequently and a lot of the calls that I spend a lot of time addressing private water and sewer line issues, and they're usually never pleasant conversations. And so you don't want a situation with a public water system where you have a lot of private water lines going through various properties. You don't know where they are, they get hit. There could be cross-contamination issues. The maintenance for private lines isn't the same as isn't as high a standard as it is for the district. So you end up with a safer water and sewer system. It's more reliable, less issues with it in the future. Probably many other reasons too. So
I'd elaborate a little bit on that, Director Murphy. There are times when we really do look at trying to shed that responsibility to the development or to the developer for that matter. A shopping center is a good example. You usually have a professional property manager that runs a shopping center. There's really no reason for TUD, if a new shopping center were to be built, to take ownership through the parking lots for all that infrastructure. Another example may be an apartment complex. Apartment complexes, are where we may want a master meter going in and then have the owner of the complex sub-meter. And so we have one account, one bill. We're not doing work in the back parking lot kind of thing. But in this case, the alternative would have been, as Antonio described, a bunch of private, small diameter, let's say water lines from that point of connection. Some of those private lines would be in a public right of way, so that wouldn't be ideal. You could try to master meter as an entrance to this 5-lot subdivision, but then there's no maintenance structure in place in these developments. They aren't forming an HOA. So then you would have potentially property owners pointing at each other if there was a problem anywhere internally. So it becomes really messy, and part of our responsibility as a district here is to provide infrastructure in an orderly way, and this is the way we do it. I wish there was a way to loop this line, or I wish there was more development kind of farther down the pipeline, because then it wouldn't seem like we're just stubbing to 5 lots, which seems kind of inefficient. But in many cases, we are extending infrastructure that can be extended further to the next property owner or developer, so that we're building that capacity in. In this case, it is an infill development. And so although this looks inefficient, it's pretty efficient by our standards. If you look at how much pipeline we have versus our customer base, you can do a quick back of the envelope, how many feet per customer, how many feet of pipeline per customer. And this is on the more efficient side. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, and on that math, we're using 4, not 5, because the remainder, it has a meter, but it doesn't have a customer. And the road that goes, and I'm assuming this is all going underneath a road, has yet to be built, and that will belong to the city or the county.
State the question again?
So this, I'm assuming, is also the entrance road to those parcels where we're looking at this. In these sort of circumstances, does that get maintained by the city, or is that private drive?
It's public right of way, but I do not know who is going to maintain it, to be honest. I don't know if it's a private road or if it's going to be a city maintained. One thing that I left off here is that along the westerly property lines of parcels 1 and 2, you'll see a 40-foot easement. That's getting abandoned, and a new 40-foot easement is going along this road and tying into the existing easement along the west side of the page. It's a public right of way, so you'll be able, anyone can drive into it, but as far as the maintenance, I do not know.
Just curious. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Director Boatright.
Good morning. Antonio, could you elaborate or let us know what the current policy is for non-drive access manholes, i.e. the manhole between parcel 3 and 4 does not appear to have drive access to it?
Great question, Dave. And we are currently in a plan review, and that was one of the first things that we added to the plan. So we do now have a drivable access from Saratoga along this curved sewer line, and with a, I think like a hammerhead turnaround, that it should be enough to turn around the vacuum truck.
Very good then, as long as we're watching out for future maintenance operations. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Jesse has his hand up for a comment.
Excuse me?
Jesse has his hand up for a comment.
Okay. Go ahead, Jesse.
Yes, thank you. To address Director Murphy's question about the road access there, typically in these situations, what happens is, as a condition of approval, the subdivider will grant a public right-of-way over that road and offer it as a dedication to the county or the road maintaining agency in that location, whether it's a city or a county. It's usually the county. And then it's up to that road maintaining agency or the county or the city, whether or not they want to accept that dedication, or if they want it to remain as a public, private road. It just depends. Most often they will take over ownership and operation of that road if there are public facilities such as the district's water line and sewer line running through there, or if there are other reasons, or if it connects to a different road, the city or county may be interested in owning it and maintaining it. But ultimately that decision is left with the county or the city. Just a little more information for you.
And on that, just from like the legal side of things, is it trickier for us to have public utilities under a private road than it is a public road?
No, one of the conditions of approval of that subdivision map will be that the district's facilities come with those facilities, or comes with an easement to operate and maintain anything necessary to operate and maintain that road, or excuse me, those facilities comes with it. Otherwise they won't get approval for the development.
Yeah, and Director Murphy, I'll tag on to what Jesse said. It is an interesting question, and Jesse's answer is, yeah, it's exactly right. In the case of the county, historically, they have accepted it for public use, but rejected its acceptance into their maintenance, their countywide maintenance, which has created a lot of roads in this county that have public facilities in them and are used by the general public, but are not maintained by the county. In this case, it's the city, and we don't know if they'll accept it, but in some ways it is easy, or sometimes easier, to not have it in the county's maintained system, because as you know, the dig once policy and all of these other sort of regulations and standards apply that we're dealing with on Phoenix Lake Road and stuff. And so in this case, if it is just a private driveway, if we had to dig it up to replace or repair our lines, we would be replacing the pavement in kind, and we wouldn't be subject to county standards or city standards for that matter.
And on normal projects, right? I know like Standard Road, when we were talking about putting the water main out there, that we were talking about trying to combine projects and trying to, my wonder also is when it's city or county, if my hope would be that we are combining efforts on everything that needs to be done at the same time. I like the jig one thing. I know it can be inconvenient, but I like the idea of putting the effort into planning so that we're not ripping up the roads all the time. Our road has, they paved it and then it's all, like it got repaved and then almost immediately got holes dug in it every year. And it's, I like the dig once.
Well, we have probably 150 or 200 leaks a year. So we can't plan for those, but we definitely can coordinate our capital projects with the county's capital projects. And we are trying our best to do that.
Yeah, I think this was I think a lot of the patches in our road are not from leaks, but from TUD maintenance that was done not in sync with what the county was doing with the roads. So I know that county owner, or the city was doing with the roads. So I know it's a lot of different buckets of money and different processes. But I like the idea of people being required to talk and plan together.
Any other director have any comments? Okay, is there any member of the public that wishes to comment?
At the moment.
All right, so if there's no further discussion, is there a director that would like to make a motion? Yes, Director Raymond.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the general manager to execute the agreement regarding water and sewer main extensions and sewer service to a non-adjacent parcel in the city of Sonora, Schroeder and Galenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Thank you, Director Boatright. If there's no further discussion, Melissa, will you please call for the vote?
Okay. Director Boatright?
Aye.
Director Murphy?
Aye.
Director Ringen?
Yes.
Director Balin?
Aye.
Okay, and with Director Kearns,
Okay, recused. So we'll give a couple of minutes and thank you, Antonio.
Thank you.
Appreciate all your thoroughness there. We'll give a second for Director Kearns to come back.
Just send a message.
Okay, I'm back.
Great, thank you, Jeff. I don't see you, but we'll assume you're back. We can hear you. Okay, Melissa, will you please read item 6?
okay, adopt resolution recognizing district personnel eligible for the 2022 Employee Longevity Recognition Award.
Okay, good morning, President Balin, members of the board, and any public that are watching, Abby Parkon. I have the pleasure today of introducing to the board and highlighting 5 employees of the district who have reached their longevity award, what am I trying to say? Years. And so we have one with 20, that is receiving the 20-year award, Matthias Pfeiffer, a utility worker in the Raw Water Division of Operations. And 4 for the 10-year award, Travis Emerald, Senior Accounting Assistant in Finance, Emily Long, Admin and External Affairs Specialist in Administration, Josh Capel, Utility Worker 3 in Construction Maintenance Operations, and Robert Betzler, Utility Worker 3 in the Distribution Division of Operations. So back in 1997, the board at that point adopted a resolution 8197, which identified 3 tiers for longevity awards for our employees. And so each year in the November timeframe, we recognize the awards for the entire year. So we do have a resolution, and within that resolution, as I read it, if you would like, I would like to expand a little bit on each employee just to give you a little bit of their history here at the district. Okay. Okay, so this is a resolution recognizing district personnel eligible for the Employee Longevity Recognition Award for 2022. Whereas the Tuolumne Utilities District adopted by resolution 8197, the Employee Longevity Recognition Award policy. And whereas the district sincerely appreciates the dedication and commitment of long-term employees, and whereas the district recognizes the invaluable institutional knowledge retained and transferred by long-term employees and acknowledges that long-term employees add leadership and stability to the workforce, building confidence and morale. And now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of Tuolumne Utilities District as follows. Section 1, the Board of Directors hereby recognizes the following district employees for their continued years of service. So for the 20-year award, we have Matthias Pfeiffer, utility worker in the Raw Water Division of Operations. He was hired on March 18th, 2002. Matt, as he goes by, originally was hired as a temporary employee on the ditch crew, then hired full-time in March of 2002 as a utility worker in the Construction Maintenance Division. He was then transferred to Distribution Department and promoted to Utility Worker 2 in 2005, and again promoted in 2010 to Utility Worker 3. In 2012, Matt transferred back over to the Distribution Department, and since then has been in his current position as ditch tender, now in the Raw Water Division of Operations. So congratulations, Matt. For the 10-year award, we have Travis Emerald, Senior Accounting Assistant for the Finance Department, who was hired on October 15th, 2012. I do apologize, on your original resolution in your board packet, I had 2022. So just a habit of 2022, so it was 2012. So thank you for recognizing that, and we have corrected it on the resolution that will be signed. Travis was originally hired as accounting assistant in 2012 and was then promoted to his current position as senior accounting technician in September of 2015. Next, we have Emily Long, who actually is here with us today, our administrative and external affairs specialist in administration, who was originally hired for the district October 25th, 2012. Emily was originally hired into the finance department as a customer service clerk, a year later promoted to customer service technician in 2013, and then promoted to customer service supervisor in 2014. And in June of this year, took her position as external affairs specialist in the admin department. Next, we have Josh Capel, utility worker 3 in the construction maintenance division of operations, who was hired November 29th, 2012. He was originally hired as a temporary employee on the ditch crew in 2010, then hired full-time as a utility worker in the construction maintenance division in November of 2012. After 1 year, he was promoted to utility worker 2 in 2013. And in 2017, Josh was promoted to ditch tender in distribution. Missing construction, Josh was then transferred back over to construction maintenance as utility worker 2 in 2020, and just recently was promoted to his current position as utility worker 3 in August of this year. And finally, we have Robert Betzler, utility worker 3 in the distribution division of operations, who was also hired on November 29th, 2012. Robert was originally hired as a temporary employee on the ditch crew in 2009 and then hired full-time as utility worker 1 in distribution in 2012. After 1 year, he was promoted to utility worker 2 in 2013, and then again promoted to his current position of utility worker 3 in 2017. So as you can see, we've got very experienced employees who we have managed throughout their careers to find just the right niche for them and utilize their skill set to the fullest. So really proud of all 5 of those employees. Section 2 of the resolution says the board hereby expresses appreciation to the above listed employees for their continued dedication to the district and the public that they represent. And at this point, I will open it up to the board for any questions or comments, and do recommend that you adopt the resolution after Don adds.
So this is what strikes me, and I feel like it's important to say here. So there's 5 employees here with a combined 60 years of experience right here at this district. That experience is incredibly valuable to us. Hats off to them for sticking it out. It's not easy work here at TUD. Each one of those, we're told upon their being offered a job here, it's not going to be easy work, it'll be hard and arduous, and they've accepted those responsibilities. I've worked with each one of these either closely or not, or loosely, and I've watched them grow in their position, and extremely proud of the work they do. What's also important here is a lot of the crossover work that happens now. Like Matt Pfeiffer, Josh Capel, Emily, now Robert, they've worked in different departments, right? Over the years, if they went from one department to another, and they have vast experience. So when there's a calling from a different department, they can rely on their past skill sets to help out the department. So that sort of teamwork and camaraderie that we have here is just incredible. And Travis, Travis, what's neat about Travis is he is dedicated to make sure that this district, its finances are protected to the hilt. He doesn't miss a thing. So I really, Travis, when I worked closer with Travis, he would come, on a regular basis. Hey Don, I see this thing with the electric, I see this thing with PG or something else. So anyway, each and every one of these people I'm really proud of and happy to work with the ones we have.
Thank you, Don. I see some hands up. Who was first, Corey?
I believe Director Boatwright and then Director Kearns.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Director Boatwright, and then Director Kearns.
Thank you, Madam President. I just personally wanted to express the congratulations and appreciation for 20-year and 10-year employees on their longevity. It's a great milestone in a career. Look forward to seeing you continue on your career path. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Director Kearns.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I want to congratulate Matt, Travis, Emily, Josh, and Robert. I know 3 of these people personally, and the other 2 I know casually, and I want to congratulate them and thank them for their hard work and their long tenure here. That's what TUD a special place to work, and makes our district run the way it does. So I want to thank all 5 of them, and look to see them back here in another 5 or 10 years.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other board comments? I'll just. Sorry?
Not that I'm seeing.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to echo the director's sentiments and not, repeat, but again, the versatility is really outstanding, and of course that is worth its weight in gold, that versatility, especially on days like this. So we really appreciate their work, and the longevity is very advantageous to the district and builds the team, so thank you. All right, if there's no further discussion, any members of the public wish to comment? Okay, then I'll bring it back for a motion and a second. Director Boatwright.
Madam President, I would like to make a motion that the board, by motion, adopt resolution recognizing district personnel eligible for the Employee Longevity Recognition Award in 2022.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, Director Reagan seconds. And without further discussion, seeing none, let's call for the vote.
Okay, Director Balin,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Director Kearns,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Aye.
Director Reagan.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. And please extend our congratulations to the employees.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Okay. All right, Melissa, will you please read item number 7?
Okay, consider approving general manager employment agreement amendment.
Okay, that is my item again. President Balin, members of the board. So just as a recap, John Perkins, our general manager, had his 1-year anniversary, October 26th, and on October 25th of 2022, in accordance with his employment agreement, the board conducted its annual performance evaluation, Mr. Perkins, using the performance compensation factors in Exhibit A of the agreement, which resulted in the board directing staff to include this item for consideration at this board meeting on the regular business agenda. The board has the sole discretion of providing the general manager with any salary or benefit increases and can only be done by amendment. Based on the general manager's successful performance evaluation, the board determined that it wishes to consider providing the general manager with a 3% salary increase as a cost of living adjustment. The amendment, the required amendment, will be incorporated, is attached to your board agenda, and also will be incorporated fully within the general manager employment agreement and is outlined as such on your attachment. With that, unless Jesse has anything to add, either myself or Jesse will entertain any questions or comments.
Okay,
I
thank
have
you.
nothing to add.
Excuse me, Jesse?
I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Director Murphy.
Yeah, just for transparency, Abby, can you, because it wasn't in the notes, what was the agreed upon salary for the general manager that we've been utilizing? Were there any additional stipends, honorariums, monies that were paid out to the general manager? And what would this 3% increase, what would the cost of that be? And then the other thing is, I noticed in the thing it says retroactively to last year, which seems odd because we agreed on the salary last year and the cost of living I could somewhat understand going forward, but retroactively seems a little absurd to me.
Just to address your last statement, I'm not sure where you're seeing retroactively. This would be effective December 26, 2022.
Oh, when I was looking at it, I understood it to be October, what does it say? October 26th, 2021. Effective October 26th, 2021 through October 31st, 2026 is what it says in the attachment on the.
Yes, those are the effective dates of the general manager agreement as a whole. It was effective as of his hire date, October 26, 2021, and the term of that agreement is through the 2026. So that's just the effective date of the contract itself, not of this amendment. The effective date of the amendment is outlined in 4A1 and is effective December 26, 2022.
Okay, thank you for that. And then if you could disclose the other information, it's all public information, so that would be great.
Yes, and what you see is on the public agenda, the only salary increase is the 3% that is written in the general manager employment agreement amendment that's in the board packet. And no other salary increases have been awarded.
Okay. And so could you tell the public what his current salary is and what 3% would look like as far as the ratepayers are going to be covering it?
Sure. So his current salary is $190,000 annually. 3% is $5,700, but it would be 6 months of that. So that would be in this fiscal year, $2,850.
But the increase would be through the December of 2026, correct?
Well, we usually talk about the impacts. Well, it would be a 3% on the salary that would stay on the salary. So for this fiscal year, it's 6 months worth, which is $2,850.
But it would be another $5,700 per year from here on out.
Correct.
Yeah, just checking. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other director have any comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, any member of the public wish to comment?
Not at the moment.
Okay, well, hearing nothing from the public, then I'll bring it back for a vote. Director Ringer.
Well, I'll make a motion for accepting the resolution approving the general manager employment agreement amendment effective December 26, 2022.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Director Kearns. And with no further discussion, I will call for the vote. Melissa, will you please call for the roll?
Okay, Director Mingan,
Yes.
Director Murphy,
Nay.
Director Kearns,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Director Balin.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we will move to item 7. We'll move to staff reports.
Okay, couple things. One is on the 2nd of November, I attended the Tuolumne County Natural Resources Committee meeting, and there was a brief report out by the Forest Service and TUD. In general, the Forest Service is just reporting out all of their fuels work that's begun. They're having quite a bit of success in there. The weather is now impacting their ability to do that work. They're talking about the Searle project, so that's moving along. They're pretty pleased with that. And Eric reported out on our water supply, which seems to be pretty good this time of year, and it's raining as we speak, so getting better by the day. Potentially on the 17th, Eric and I might be going over to Grizzly Flats Community Services District to meet with Ken Payne, the general manager, and take a tour of their system, which was impacted by the Calder fire in 2021, and try to get a sense of what they went through and what the sort of lessons they learned so we can better prepare ourselves over here. But on a bigger, larger note, I've spent quite a bit of time working with and being in presence of different community members, pillars of the community. I'm referring to both tribes. I've been working really closely with them, trying to have a collaboration, have a dialogue with them on a regular basis, all things concerning them and TUD. Same with the county, Tracy Riggs and Dory and some of the supervisors, as well as the city of Sonora, their new administrator. I'm just relaying to you that the coordination, the communication is getting better and better all the time. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Don. Any other staff wish to comment?
I have no report.
You're all good? Okay. All right, Steve's good. Okay, you're good. All right, and I'll turn it back to directors. Who would like to go?
There you go.
Okay, Director Rena.
1028. Excuse me. Attended the Mountain County Water Resource Association Legislative Committee meetings. The committee has been really involved in setting up a method to find and categorize the legislative things moving through the state so that it can be brought before, cut out the stuff that doesn't really matter and just the things that really concern Mountain County's area and the members. And then that will be given to the board and then passed on to various utilities and other members. A lot of work's gone into that and we're getting close. 11.2 was the T-Stan Irwin Joint Water Advisory Committee and the JPA meeting. Both of them were held at the same time, and it happened to be totally about my very favorite subject, grants. So moving forward on grants. That's it.
Great, thank you. Any other directors wish to share? Yes, Director Murphy.
Yeah, I'd just like to give kudos to Director Ringen. I was at the T-Stan Irwin meeting as well. And I just think they're doing really good work on the grants they're going after. One that's getting submitted shortly is about turf replacement. And the other one is also drought related. And so I think they're just really great grants that will really benefit the community. So kudos on that. And also we have a workshop coming up with the Phoenix Lake project. And I'd also like to give kudos to Director Ringen for his work on that and keeping that moving along. So thank you for that, and things to look forward to.
Thank you. If there's no other director, I'll just say that I was asked by Mountain Counties to be part of an ad hoc for a dues structuring meetings, and we have our first meeting on Tuesday, November 1st, and let's see, there's Scott Raudeman, Director Raudeman from Calaveras is over there, as well as Supervisor Randy Fletcher from Yuba. So it was a real good group, and we're just looking at rates. Dues structuring, so to speak. So that was that, and with that, I don't have anything else to report. And seeing none, we may then just recess into closed session here. Melissa, will you please read the closed session? Right?
A conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency representatives Don Perkins and Abby Parkon. Employee organization, Northern California District Council of Labor's Construction, Production, and Maintenance Laborers Local Union 1130.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, and Jesse, I think we can say adios, right?
Yep, sounds fine. No, thank you very much. Everybody remember to vote, and we'll see you at the next meeting.
Okay, thanks again. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Have a good one, Jesse.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We have
We're getting there.
how much time we got?
Oh, we can do a 5 minute.
Do you want to do a little break?
Yeah, just.
Okay. Excuse me?
Muted. Okay, I'll go back on. Sorry.
No?
Yes.
Okay. We will now reconvene into open session. And the board would like to report out of closed session that it has reached tentative agreement with the laborers union on a side letter of agreement to extend the expiration of the current MOU. Melissa, will you please read the related item B?
Okay, consider resolution approving a side letter of agreement between Tuolumne Utilities District and the Northern California District Council of Laborers Construction, Production and Maintenance Laborers Union number 1130.
Thank you. Is there any member of the public that wishes to comment?
Not that I see at the moment.
Okay,
Let me-
all right then.
President Balin
Yes.
and members of the board, I'd like to provide you a summary of the side letter. Okay, to save on direct and indirect costs associated with full labor negotiations scheduled for next spring, the board and union reached a tentative agreement to extend the current MOU for 3 years from its original 2023 expiration date to 2026. Legal fees associated with labor negotiations in the past have reached $200,000. To improve recruitment and retention of highly qualified employees, bring cost of living adjustments in line with comparison agencies, address current and future impacts of inflation and rising costs of living for the employees of the Tuolumne Utilities District. The employer will resume paying full employer PERS contribution effective January 2023. There will be a one-time payment of $1,000 to each employee. There will be a 3% cost of living adjustment effective January of 2023. Then there will be a range between 3% and 6% cost of living adjustment based on CPI effective July of each year of the extended contract. It also adds a newly federally declared holiday, Juneteenth. All of the above applies to represented and unrepresented employees of the district. The salary and one-time payments do not apply to the general manager. I'll yield back to you now.
Thank you. Okay, well then, I think we're ready to call for a vote.
Okay. Director Balin,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Oh, was there a first and a second?
Sorry, the screen froze. Where are we?
right?
Oh, did we skip a step?
Correct, a first and a second. Even though we reported out, we still need the motion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, so I will ask for a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion that we agree to that union agreement, yeah.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Thank you, Director Boatright. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, Director Balin,
Aye.
Director Boatright,
Aye.
Director Kearns,
Aye.
Director Murphy,
Abstain.
Director Ringen.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 4-1 with one abstention.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So if there's no further business, then the meeting is adjourned at 3 after